So I can't be the only one that kind of thinks this, but I want to go out on a limb here and say that Sanji's family, they're kind of an ass. They're assholes, definitely. I mean, what we witnessed in this chapter was some pretty crusty shit. They threatened Sanji's father, not his real biological father, but what father Sanji really thinks he has. They hurt a girl, literally beat her to the point of death. And then they insult Sanji's entire, character. For instance, they don't eat the food, they sling it on the floor, and they waste it and all that. And we know how Sanji was in the earlier portions of One Piece. Sanji literally broke someone's face for them not eating their food, and then making fun of it and all that type of stuff. I remember that happening in the earlier portions when Sanji is first introduced. And we see this chapter. Now I understand. Now I understand why Sanji does not like his family. Now, I always assume when the introduction of Sanji's family was done, the reason why he doesn't like his family might be because his family is assassins. And we've seen a little bit of crusty shit, I mean, the way they've treated Sanji and stuff. But overall, it didn't seem like they would go that far, to that extreme, to what they did to Sanji in this chapter. And so, now I understand why Sanji left, and why he doesn't like them, and why he doesn't want to be around them. It's because of what we saw in this chapter. I mean, his own family was making fun of him when he left. Like, when he left and he was off having his adventures with the Straw Hat crew, or when he was starving as a kid, and when he met his, real father, who he really cares about, they were thinking of all the horrible ways that Sanji could have died. And that's pretty fucked up. I mean, imagine you coming home finally. Yes, you don't care about your family. Yes, you don't, really like them at all. But if you heard your own brothers and all that, and your father talking about you and saying that they were thinking of all the horrible ways you could have died, and that's what they were thinking about when you were up and missing, that's pretty fucked. It really is. That would hurt anybody, regardless of how attached you are to the person or not. That would hurt you to hear your own family say something like that to you. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting to see what Sanji's family was doing to him in this chapter. And I mean, the entire scene with the woman getting beat. She literally got beat pretty much to death. That was so fucked up. I did not think the chapter would go that far. I was like, yo, Sanji's gonna be really wanting to break someone's neck when he has the chance, because after you wasting food, throwing it on the floor, insulting someone, almost hurting a woman, you've already pushed Sanji to a point where he just wants to break you. And then we get to that scene where this woman's on the ground, she's all beat up and messed up, and you're like, did they really just do that? That's some really cruel shit. I gotta be honest here, Sanji's family, they're on that level of the Celestial Dragons, in terms of being an asshole or crusty. That's exactly what these characters are, Sanji's family. I mean, yes, they're nobles and all that, they're part of the world government, they're considered as a country, but still, I mean, now seeing how this chapter was displayed, there literally is, no possibility for redemption for Sanji's family. I mean, maybe there is, who knows? I mean, it could be written and something can happen, but at this time, though, with the information we have been given, Sanji's family, honestly, I don't think they're really that redeemable. The only person that is redeemable in Sanji's family, I would say, would probably be some of the soldiers, maybe, some of the side characters that have yet to be introduced, and also, most likely, Sanji's sister. So let's get into that. So, Sanji's sister, very shady, very mysterious. We don't really know exactly what she is thinking. And this is the scariest thing about her character, because there's two things what this can mean. Sanji's sister, she has this very interesting outlook to Sanji. She's like, oh, how very charming, or, gentleman-like. And the way she talks, there's two ways you can interpret this. One, she actually has a hidden motive, which obviously she does have some form of hidden motive, the way she's been acting. But she has a hidden motive to where she actually cares about her brother Sanji and wants to help him out. Or B, she's probably the evilest out of all of them. She's the one that literally will snap someone's neck in front of her brother and be completely fine. Those are the two things I think that could possibly happen right now with Sanji's sister. Either she is the cruelest out of all the siblings and the entire family, because the way Oda's building her up, or she is a kind sister that's wanting to help out Sanji, but at this time she really can't because she's loyal to her entire family. So I feel like one of those two are going on with Sanji's sister, but definitely something shady going on there, especially the way she's been displayed in recent chapters and in this chapter. I wonder what type of role she'll have to play in the future. Now, getting off of that, let's talk about the scene with the, experimental clones and stuff being made in the factory. Now, I really just gonna say, that really, whoa! whoa, just like, I didn't expect that. Like, I think all of us, when we were starting this chapter, we did not expect to see something like that. Someone making clones and stuff and making soldiers. This kind of explains now why the soldiers that work underneath Sanji's family are willing to give up their lives. They're brainwashed. They're literally brainwashed, from what we can probably assume now. I mean, all they have to do is make a couple of soldiers, they kind of hardwire them in a certain way, and they follow the rules of the Vinsmoke family like it's nothing, and they won't turn against them. This explains why, you know, all the soldiers in the Vinsmoke family don't, you know, get upset or revolt against them, because they're clones and they probably don't have a will of their own. That kind of explains the entire mentality of why many of them would sacrifice themselves in the middle of the fight between Judge and Sanji. Now it makes so much more sense. Then, on top of that, too, we have to also factor in that Sanji right now, he's been pushed even deeper into the corner in this chapter. I mean, this man already has been handcuffed. He literally can't do shit. I mean, we know his feelings about his hands. We've seen this time and time again. He's mentioned it in the past, so I don't really need to dive into that. So that's one of the main reasons that's restricting him right now. He can't just remove the freaking cuffs and just get out. It's not that simple. But then on top of that now, if he was to try to leave, someone he really cares about, someone he thinks of as a father, will get harmed and killed. And let's just be brutally honest here, okay? Yes, Zeph is a very strong guy. He's a very strong pirate. He is a badass. He really is a badass son of a bitch. He is awesome. But there is no way, from all the information we have now, there is just no way this man could fight the Vinsmoke family. It's not possible. If the Vinsmoke family sends someone over there to deal with him, he can't defend himself. That's just the cold hard truth right there. And Sanji knows this. He knows if he's to do something, he will be killed. And then also, other people will get hurt in the long run if he decides to revolt against his family. Like, other women will get hurt, and they'll most likely use that against Sanji to make him bend to their will. So, overall, Sanji's situation is very fucked up. I feel bad for him because, I mean, the man doesn't deserve this. He doesn't deserve all that. I mean, seeing stuff like this, what his family is doing, how crusty they are, it makes so much sense now why he ran away, and now why he acts like he does. Now, one of the big things I noticed, though, in this chapter, and I feel like many might not notice, was the scene when Sanji grabbed the dinner plate that was being slung at the girl, the chef that was cooking the food. Yeah, there was a lot of emphasis in those panels to where Sanji grabbed the plate with his hand. Now, we do know that he only uses his hands in the kitchen to make food and stuff like that, so it's probably why he used his hand to grab the plate. But also, the way Oda emphasized him using his hand to grab the plate, it felt like there was more meaning to that. It felt like Oda was trying to let us know that, yes, what you're seeing is possibly what's going to happen. Sanji in this arc is probably going to be forced to use his hands to fight or defend himself or defend others, because he literally has to do it to save someone. I could see Sanji breaking his golden rule just to save someone, maybe even saving his, you know, his father like Zeph. I could see him doing something like that to try to save him. So, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of emphasis in that panel. I wonder if that's what Oda was trying to imply, but that's about it when it comes to this chapter. Now, one last thing I do want to talk about, which is kind of not related to One Piece, but it is at the same time. If you saw the cover page to One Piece this week, you most likely know. And if you've been paying attention to manga and anime news, you're probably already aware as well. And also, even further into it, I mean, if you know about series that are Weekly Shonen Jump or long-running series and stuff, you most likely have heard about this series, Kochi Kame. It is a series that's been going on for 40 years. 40 plus years, 200 manga volumes. Yes, you heard me. 200 manga volumes. That is a lot of chapters and a lot of volumes. That is ridiculous. To put it in perspective, One Piece is nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. And that series came to an end, a conclusion, in this week's chapters. In this week's Weekly Shonen Jump, it concluded. GG. Now, I personally don't know much about the series. I'm going to be honest. I don't know much about the series. I've never personally read it myself. I haven't. But I've heard about it. And I know it's integrated into the culture of manga and anime for many fans. Many grew up with this series, and many read this series. And it's just a very sad time, but a happy time as well. I mean, I don't know exactly how this series concluded. I don't know if it was a bad conclusion, a rushed conclusion, a good conclusion. I have no idea. But it's still a good hallmarker just to see how such a legendary series that's been going on for 40 years has finally concluded. It is finally over. It is done. congrats to Kochikame, the mangaka, that, you know, did a very good job on that series and wrote for 200 manga volumes. That's a ridiculous feat. Maybe One Piece will stand amongst that ranks in due time, but for now, though, I love the little shout-out that, you know, Oda did on the cover page to Kochikame. Like, you see the character on it, you see, like, the unibrow and stuff. It's such a sweet, like, memorial to such a good manga series that finally had to come to an end. And, I mean, it's not just One Piece that did it, but, I mean, other series also did this week. I mean, you had it to where, you know, Menata and Boku no Hero Academia did it, and also Toriko, and, you know, the manga Toriko also had references as well. And if I had to bet, if I was reading other manga too in Weekly Shonen Jump, I probably would have saw references to Kochikame as well. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of the mangaka in Weekly Shonen Jump truly care about that series, and just to see how so many referenced it in these week's chapters makes me happy to see. So that's about it. That's the end of this week's video of One Piece. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.